I want to remind you that you are protected under Cap number 12 of the laws of Zambia, which grants members of parliament immunity against prosecution for what they say well in this house. And this means that the information you give to this committee, it cannot be used against you outside parliament or indeed in any court of law, as long as it is factual. However, should you deliberately or willfully mislead or misinform this committee, the same information can be used against you in the courts of law. So we have no doubt, CS with your team, that this won't be necessary, as you will not choose to deliberately misinform this committee. So before you go on to your presentation, CS, I want to also mention that maybe you will not focus more on the query itself. You could focus on the management response and the measures that you have put across. If you want to take us through the query, maybe you can just define it briefly and tell us how you are doing to address the problem that was raised, so that the members of parliament at the end, they will have ample time to interact with you through questions, comments, or where they will feel they will need clarification from your presentation. So having said that, CS, you may now proceed to make your submission. Thank you.
Yeah. The first query, Chair, is on management of land, failure to revoke expired invitation to trade. The observation of auditors acknowledged, Chair, and wish to state that the delay in revocation of ITTs was due to uncertainty which arose on the part of some offerees upon discovery of some plots laying on the rock, posing a dysfunction in would-be developers. This led to the council failing to collect plot premium on time. Action taken, Chair. Management wished to issued a public notice advising on the revocation of premium plots and proceeded to report to the council. The major measures: management will ensure ITTs are revoked promptly if plot premiums are not paid within the time frame given after the date of acceptance. On cross-cutting audit queries, Chair, management wished to state that financial statements both for 2023 and 2024 were unqualified, and management to continue presenting a fair view of the state of affairs for good governance. On budget findings and expenditure, Chair, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings that amounts totaling to 13,500,828 was not spent as at 31st December 2024 as per audited financial statements for the year under review as tabulated below. Action taken. Management has since spent a total of 11,471,853 as shown in the table below, leaving a balance of 2,029,150, which are committed funds, Chair, to the capital bus station project, the project which is currently in progress. Management will ensure that funds are prudently utilized on the committed projects timely. Chair will amend it for outputs not achieved. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings that 2 targeted activities were not implemented as shown in the table above. This was due to targets not being changed after the supplementary budget was done, which led to some budgets being varied. Remedial measures. Management to ensure that whenever budgets are adjusted, targets are adjusted and changed accordingly. Failure to collect revenue. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings that revenue amounting to 7,082,122, as shown in the table below, was under-collected during the period under review. Action taken. Management since collected amounts totaling to 1,110,783 as shown in the table below. Remedial measures. Management has since put in place measures to ensure that revenue is collected as budgeted for. Management, through the Council Resolution Chair, introduced remissions on property rates for various categories of ratepayers to encourage prompt settlement of rates accounts. Management will also ensure that revocation of ITTs is timely done as soon as the period given to payers elapses and issuing of invoices and demand notices are done. On failure to use 5% locally generated funds on Ward Development Fund, management wish to acknowledge the auditor's finding that funds amounting to 559,121, representing the 5% of locally generated revenue, which should have been used for wards development activities, was not used on wards as per guidelines due to inadequate funds to meet other operations. The local authority instead leveraged on the enhanced CDF to carry out infrastructure developments across the wards. Action taken, Chair. Management has put up strategies to ensure local revenue collections will be engaging wards to identify development activities in their areas, which should be funded by 5% locally generated revenue. Remedial measures. Management will endeavor to ensure that budgeted locally generated revenue is collected without fail in order to remit the 5% for wards development activities. On overpayment of staff, Chair. Cause of query, management observations acknowledged, and we wish to state that this was due to staff that were duly appointed, deployed by the Local Government Service Commission to the local authority as shown in the table below. Action taken, Chair. Management has written to submit all cases of overstaffing to the Local Government Service Commission, in which overstaffing has been recommended for promotion to other positions and some transferred to other stations as shown in the table below. Remedial measures, Chair. Management has continued to submit quarterly staff returns and will continue to engage the Local Government Service Commission on staff matters. Delayed confirmation of staff on probation. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings that 2 officers who completed their probation periods were not confirmed as established officers as at the time of audit. The Commission, action taken, Chair, is that the Commission has since confirmed 1 officer as recommended by management. The local authorities is yet to receive the confirmation of the other officer from the Local Government Service Commission. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will continue engaging the Local Government Service Commission on staff matters timely. Then properties without title deeds. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings that at the time of audit, the local authority had these 27 properties without title deeds. Action taken, Chair. Management started the process of securing all council properties with title deeds. The council has since received offer letters from 11 properties from Minister of Lands. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will endeavour to ensure that title deeds for all council properties are secured without any further delay. Uninsured assets. Management wishes to acknowledge auditor's findings that 3 council vehicles were not insured at the time of audit due to the following reasons. GRZ 3271, Chair, the tractor was deemed not to have economic value by insurance standards, and the insurance company was unable to take up an insurance cover. Then the ALX 8558 was temporarily out of the road as it required major repairs to be done. Then the GRZ 7 2013 had its insurance cover expired and needed to be renewed. So action taken, Chair. Management has renewed the insurance covers for 2 vehicles as shown in the table below. Management will endeavour to have all its properties insured at all times as required. The next query, Chair, is on non-maintenance of properties. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's observations that some council properties were found not maintained and were in a bad deputation. The failure to maintain the properties, Chair, in question was due to inadequate funding the local authority faced during the period under review. Management has since started a routine maintenance of properties, taking into account the priority structures to be maintained at a time as its financial capacity cannot allow it to carry out maintenance at all on all the infrastructure at once. Remedial measures. Management will remain committed to maintain its infrastructure, and for this reason a provision have been made in 2026 budget. Non-disposal of unserviceable movable assets. Cause of query. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding that 3 unserviceable motor vehicles were not disposed of at the time of audit. Management has constituted a disposal committee as required under Section 44(1), 2, and 3A, B, and C of Public Finance Management Act Number 1 of 2018. To this effect, Chair, Management has written to the Department of Government Valuation to undertake the valuation of affected assets. Remedial measures make sure that all serviceable, obsolete, and obsolete assets are disposed of timely. Another query, Chair, is on failure to service plots. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding that Council did not create access roads for its Riverview plots at the time of audit due to low revenue received on the subscription of the plots. Management has since created some access roads for Riverview plots. Management will ensure that before plots are offered to clients, they are fully serviced with access roads. Non-settlement of statutory and other obligations. Management wish to acknowledge the auditor's findings that statutory obligations totaling 10,519,358 were in the year under review, as the local authority was not able to remit statutory contributions due to the fact that it experienced insufficient funding, making it difficult to meet its statutory obligation during the period under review. Action taken, Chair. Management has since paid a total of 1.3 million, 1,135,266 towards statutory obligations. Some statutory obligations, Chair, such as NAPSA, is currently being recovered at source by the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. Further, the National Pension Scheme Authority, Chair, was given had given the local authority a waiver of penalties of 2,650,477 on the penalties following an application and meeting of the set conditions. Remedial measures. The Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development is recovering NAPSA contributions, LASIF and ZULAO at source. Further, management has come up with a debt liquidation plan in the Council's 2026 budget to settle outstanding arrears, Chair. The next is on non-settlement of staff obligations. Management wish to acknowledge the auditor's observation that staff obligations are totaling 1,550,085, mainly unpaid settling in allowances for newly appointed staff and inward transferred staff were not settled as at 31st December 2024 due to inadequate funding experienced by the local authority during the period under review. Action taken. Management has since started liquidating staff obligations and has so far paid a total of 71,011 kwacha towards staff obligations. Remedial measures. Management has since come up with a debt liquidation plan in the 2026 budget and is still committed to liquidate staff obligations. Inadequate firefighting services. Management wishes to acknowledge the findings of the auditors that the local authority did not have firefighting equipment, utility vehicles dedicated for firefighting and rescue services. Due to the action taken, Chair, due to the huge amount of funds needed to procure firefighting equipment such as fire tenders and infrastructure, management has sought of intervention in sourcing of funds from the parent ministry as an interim measure, and also management has secured offices at the old district administration block for its firefighters, where they are offering various firefighting rescue services. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will continue to engage its ministry to help in the sourcing of funds to equip the district with modern firefighting infrastructure and equipment. Lack of personnel protective equipment. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings that firefighters did not have inadequate personal protective equipment, as some protective equipment and clothing required replacement at the time of audit. Management has procured the PPEs such as life-saving jackets and working around the clock to ensure that all personal protective equipment as required for firefighters is procured. Management will ensure that the PPEs are procured without any further delay, and to this effect, Chair, a provision for the procurement of personal protective equipment in the 2026 budget was made. failed to remit 50% of fire revenue to fire services account. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings that 50% of the fire revenue was not remitted to the fire services account due to the fire services account not being opened and operational requirements in the general purposes account. Action taken, Chair. Management has started the process of opening a fire services bank account where 50% of revenue related to the fire services collection will be deposited. Remedial measure, Chair. Management will ensure that the fire services account is operational and 50% fire revenue generated by the council is remitted to the fire services account upon collection. Unspent funds. Management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's finding that fines amounting to 8,631,138 were unspent as at 31st December 2024 from sector grant account as shown in the table. Action taken. Management has spent a total of 8.6 million as shown in the table. Remedial measures. Management to ensure that the funds are spent timely. A failure to adhere to age limits. Management did acknowledge the auditor's observation and wishes to state that copies of the national registration cards were not attached to payments made to beneficiaries to prove their age limits, as the only provision was indication of age limits of the beneficiaries on the template that was given, Chair. The action taken, Chair. Management has since taken note of the auditor's concern and will ensure that copies of the NRCs of beneficiaries are attached to all payments vouchers for verification. Remedial measures, Chair. Management will endeavor to rigorously adhere to guidelines stipulated under Cash for Work program. Chair, here you observe that the appendix for the evidence, but we have submitted to the clerk a copy of evidence that will be marked next Chair 13B. So on failure to pay beneficiaries under Cash for Work. Chair, because of query, management acknowledges auditor's finding that at the time of audit, 104 beneficiaries were not paid, amounting to 62,400 due to challenges that is faced as a result of mainly technical failure on bankers' payment platform, of which was beyond the council's authority. Again, Chair, I would like to make an recollection and action taken, where we are saying management wish to state that affected 104 beneficiaries were paid. Here, Chair, the beneficiaries were not paid. So I just want to make collection here. They haven't been paid up to date, Chair. So instead of writing they were paid, they were actually not paid, Chair.
No, I think here it's still saying they were not paid. Unless if we were reading different documents.
Management used to state that affected 104 beneficiaries were not paid at the time of audit, have been paid, so they haven't been paid. It's saying they have been paid when you read the sentence. So I'm trying to make a connection.
So in short, you are saying up to date they have not been paid?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Chair.
Yes, go ahead, CS.
Okay. Unspent funds, Zambia Devolution Support Program. Because of query, management wishes to acknowledge the auditor's findings that during the year under review, funds totaling to 2,694,737 meant for capital project was not spent as at 31st December 2024, as the project was still on procurement stage. Action taken, Chair. Management wish to state that procurement process has since been completed and the contract has been awarded, who has since moved on site and commenced works. Management has so far disbursed a total of 665,406 as advance payment, leaving a balance of 2,029,000 awaiting claims as work progresses. The medium measures, Chair, management will endeavor to spend funds in specific year they receive henceforth. Thank you, Chair. That is where my report ends.
Well, thank you so much, Council Secretary for Mpongwe Town Council, for your submission. Honorable members, at this point I want to invite you to make questions, comments, or points of clarification. I'll begin with Honorable Kangombe.
Thank you very much, Chair. CS, thank you for your submission. Page 2 of your submission is related to page 6. So on page 6, Chair, the local authority did not collect 7 million kwacha. And there's a breakdown as to why this 7 million was not collected. Now, if I look at the under collection, the bulk of it is on plot premium, which is actually 4.2 million. And the reason is that ITTs, people did not pay. And according to UCS, it's because of a few of them saying the area where they've been allocated, there's some uncertainty. I just want to understand, these plots, they were given through interviews, or these were given on first come, first served basis? What for picking these applicants? Because if you pick applicants, Chair, and they've been assessed in terms of their capacity to pay, Chair, we should not have reasons why people should not pay, because it's also going to affect your ability to provide services. So, Chair, number one, I want to understand what type of selection process was adopted. On page 7, according to Appendix 19, there was overemployment of staff. Now, the report says these came from Lusaka, these came from the Commission. So I want to understand, CS, is there no conversation that takes place between yourselves as a local authority and the Commission on the workers that you need? Because you're supposed to indicate we need a building inspector, we need a quantity surveyor, as opposed to the Commission just sending you workers. So I'm trying to understand, for overemployment to take place, there is no discussion that takes place, so that we understand what procedure, Chair, this committee will recommend. At the end of the day, we have to recommend a procedure. That is why this committee is in place, so that when we go to Madam Speaker, we know exactly what is supposed to be handled. Chair, I'll remain with those for now.
Okay, thank you so much.
A couple of them, but for now.
Please, you may hold on. We allow others also to ask, then we'll get back to you. Yeah. So, Madam CS, I think Honorable Kangombe has raised 2 questions. Before you respond to those questions, I want to invite other members of Parliament to ask questions. I'll start with Honorable Chara there. Maybe you can ask 2 questions so that we get 2 others, then we allow the CS to respond.
Thank you, Chair. I think my question is on Appendix 47, failure to remit 50% of fire revenue to fire services account. In your response, you stated that you have been depositing money to general purpose account because the there's no account yet opened, and you have said that is in the process. From the time the audit was taken place up to date, I want to find out how long does it take for you to open an account with the bank?
Okay.
And the other one is on Appendix 50, failure to adhere to age limits. Here there is about 17 beneficiaries with 11,400. It seems these are the ones who had no NRCs. It's like others have had the NRCs. But how did you recruit these 17 beneficiaries which had no NRCs attached? Is there anyone who had interest with these 17 beneficial people who were recruited?
Thank you. So, CS, we have about 4 questions that maybe she might, let's allow her to pick the first set of questions. Then Honorable will be able to come back to you so that there is that logical order of her responding to the questions. So, CS, I'm sure you got the questions very well. You may attempt to respond to the 4 questions.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'll start with the access staff which were sent by the Local Government Service Commission. This access staff chair came as a result of the new establishment that was introduced in the local government after devolution. So, for example, when we had the committee clerks under the council, when we checked the new establishment, we observed that there was no provision of the clerks under the council, the office clerks, the committee clerks. So what we did was we started identifying those that had qualifications and recommended to the Local Government Service Commission. So that is what led to mostly access staff. And then the other thing, Chair, is that we do engage the Local Government Service Commission, especially when they, I don't know whether it's an oversight on their part, sending the people that are already in the position. We quickly communicate to them and they either redirect or recall back the staff. But in our case, Chair,
So CS, are you confirming that the Local Government Commission, they have sent people whom you do not need, and when they arrive there, they do not direct them elsewhere, they end up staying there, and that is what has caused this overstaffing?
What I'm saying, Chair, is the establishment that was that we had, the new establishment, that was what led to access staff.
How many positions were squashed from the new establishment? Is it apart from the clerks? Which other position are you able to tell us, so that we really understand the root cause of this?
Okay. For example, David Chilembo. David Chilembo was senior accountant's assistant. So this position has been squashed. Okay. And then on committee clerks, there is Grace Piri there, Isaac Daka. These were clerks attached to the committee. So that position was squashed. So you are confirming that assistant accountant and clerks, those positions are no longer in the local authority? Yes, Chair. They have been overtaken by the new establishment, yes, right? Chair. Yes, Chair. Only those two. Any other position? Maybe our Director Human Resource and Administration can help me on that. The other position that were squashed.
I think for now, just as the CS has put it, now what really changed much was on the accountant on finance department. as well as on committee section. Yes, please. So on any other, unless I review the structure again,
Okay.
where I can confirm other structure, other establishments that were restructured.
Okay. A follow-up question on the same, Honorable.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, the query is over employment of staff. That's the query, okay? And according to the response, these are workers coming from the Commission, according to the response. So I'm trying to understand, is it a query? Because if it's a query, it means 10 workers, but you have 15. Okay, and that is why I was trying to establish what caused the query. Is it that the Commission is sending you officers you don't need, or you feel you need these extra workers? So Chair, basically is this a query or not? Okay, if it's a query according to the auditors have an establishment, because they don't run the institution CS. You run the institution. When auditors raised it as a query, it means that they found that you had more workers than the establishment. That is a query. And now I'm trying to understand who sent the extra workers. Is it the Commission that decided on their own that let's send these to Mpongwe, or you felt you needed those workers? So that at the end of the day, we understand whether we have a query or we don't have a query. Because you are not the only council that may have this problem. Chair,
Council Secretary.
From the because these workers were not sent to the Local Government Sales Commission. There were officers that had positions that were not in the establishment, the new establishment. And then the additional position that was squashed off, Chair, and also the DACA. The DACA is no longer in the establishment.
The DACA is no longer in the establishment?
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Okay, then there are other questions that were raised. There was this question of the account. The Kangombe asked about how were the payments done to those plots. Then also came the question around how long does it take for you to open an account?
Okay, maybe for the first question on the ITTs, I will direct this question to the Director Planning.
Director Planning, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Chair. Actually, what we did is before even inviting or making an advert to the public, we secured a minute from the council so that we can have that authority to advertise and even calling people for interviews. So we did an advert after securing the authority from the council, and after the advert we also interviewed who would be developers, and then now we get for those that were qualifying. At that point, sometimes it may be difficult for the local authority to, of course, we can try to work to see that, okay, this person has the capacity, but you find that the clients, some other ways, maybe probably if it means submitting the bank statement which is showing that the bank statement is active, and from there we can say, okay, this person is qualified. So there are a lot of things that go on, and we are even able to give these clients some plots, thinking that they will be able to pay. But after issuing them with the ITTs, a number of them, they failed to pay.
So, Director, maybe it goes back to the amount of due diligence. When you people ask us to provide our bank statements when we want to buy these plots, honestly, do you do proper due diligence, or it is just academic? You have immunity. Does your internal auditor sit down to verify whether the proof that applicants are making is genuine, or is academic, is just to the box? Internal auditor. Do you have any internal auditor here? Yes, you may respond. Maybe get closer to the mic. Use that mic there. When people apply for plots, they attach their business, their sources of income, they attach their pay slips. Do you do due diligence, or it is ticking the box?
Chair, I can confirm that we didn't do the due diligence.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, that is well noted. Follow-up question?
Yeah, Ryder. Chair, 4.2 million, the council needs it. CS, I know you need the money. For me, my questioning is trying to help you ensure that that 4.2 million comes in. So I want to find out, Chair, how are you going to ensure that since those have been revoked, the next beneficiaries have got the capacity to pay for the plots so that you can deliver other services? There are so many things you need to do in Mpongwe. Mpongwe is not a small district, so you need the 4.2 million. So how are you going to identify the new beneficiaries? Thank you, Chair.
Yes, you may respond. Maybe before she loses her thought, then I'll come to you, Honorable. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. Maybe we'll use the first come, first serve, and also maybe do an advert on paper where maybe the access is nationwide. Maybe interested to develop in Mpongwe. Maybe that is what we can do, and also because the people that come from their chair, they don't have capacity. Just like we said, like they will provide a pay slip, they will provide the bank statement, and then since we don't do due diligence, maybe give them time on maybe paying on the instruments. I don't know. Otherwise, that is what I'm thinking about, Chair. Thank you.
Okay, this is Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. I think on this point, it's like we have two things here. The payment of the same premiums, and then this rock, which they have indicated, that people found a rock. Have you got alternative land that you give these very people? Because you're already saying it's like these people cannot develop on this same land.
So have you found the alternative where these people will go? And when do you think this issue will be settled? Because I know these people are demanding for their plots. They will not buy into your scientific revelations that the land is not suitable, because you were supposed to do, you cannot sell a product which is default.
Chair, the people have.
And how much were these plots?
13,000.
Director of Works.
The residentials were at 16,000. Then medium were at 13,000. The low cost 8,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So the good thing is they haven't paid anything to the council, Chair. So that is why I was saying maybe we advertise again, because the people that build on the rocks, Chair. When you go to Kafue there, the place is rocky. They build on logs. So maybe if we advertise again, we can be interested on the same piece of land. For now, Chair, I can confirm that we don't have land as a council as an alternative, because most of the land in Mpongwe sit on leadership.
We still need you to answer the two questions. There was a question asked by Honorable Chala over the issue of opening the account. What is your response?
Chair, allow me to direct this to Director Finance.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, indeed, the opening of account do not take a lot of time. All what I can say, Chair, is that we take the responsibility of not opening it on time. But as we talk right now, we have done all the formalities. All what we are waiting for is the approval of the authority to open that account from the Minister of Finance through our provincial office. That's the provincial administration chair. I submit, Chair.
Okay. Yes, there was a hand here. Are you satisfied, Honorable? Maybe you can make a follow-up question quickly.
Since we have taken that responsibility, would it be prudent for us to cite you with negligence? Thank you, Chair.
Director of Finance, kindly respond. Why shouldn't you be cited for negligence?
Chair, for now, Chair, maybe you can give us the benefit of doubt, because these are things that, Chair, we take responsibility as we take over the offices, Chair. I submit, Chair.
Thank you, yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Chair. CS, you can go to page 6 of your submission, appendix number 9, failure to use 5% of locally generated funds on wards, where this query is dealing with Ward Development Fund. According to your response, you said, let me just read your own submission. Management, okay, you acknowledged being 5% of locally generated revenue, and which should have been used for wards development activities was not used on wards as per guidelines due to inadequate funds to meet other operations. Chair, according to the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Ministerial Minute number 71/1/91, it requires that 5% of local generated funds should be used for infrastructure development in wards, and it is also law through the Local Government Act. Now, I want to find out from CS and the team why they use this percentage for other operations, and they have further said that the local authority instead leveraged on the Constituency Development Fund. These are two different funds. The Ward Development Fund, it's law, and you further, I want to follow their submission, and further in your action taken report, you said management has to put up strategies to enhance local revenue. Chair, this has nothing to do with enhancement. There was that amount of money which should have ordinarily gone to ward development for ward activities.
Okay.
So the question is why they decided to apply it. The money was misapplied.
The money was misapplied.
Yeah, so
and without you ending on your sentence, Vice Chair, the last sentence you went further to say, and they will be engaging wards to identify developmental activities in the areas. So, even if the money was there, there were no identified activities where the money was going to go. I think that is what it means. So, in short, it means where the money was supposed to go, it was not identified. The little money that came went elsewhere. So maybe you might respond to Honorable now.
Maybe an addition. That response itself does not hold water, because this committee is aware that each local authority, each district now has an IDP, integrated development plan, ward by ward. So for them to say that they will engage the ward to identify activities or projects, those projects are already in the IDP. It's just a matter of picking. These projects will fall under Ward Development Committee. These projects will fall under the CDA. Yeah, so maybe the question is on addition of our questions. Do you have an IDP?
Thank you. You may answer that one, CS.
Chair, we have an IDP.
Okay.
Yes. So when we were saying engaging the wards to identify, we were referring to the projects that are already in the IDP. the priority projects that they need the council to work on. That is what we meant. And then maybe answering to why we are not paying this 5% chair. Chair, without wasting the committee's time, if you look at Mpongwe, the revenue we get from Mpongwe, that is what we... Then the only industries that are there, the only businesses, the big businesses that are there, Chair, we have Zambia, Ntanda, and a few commercial farmers, which haven't been picked on the evaluation row, Chair, the row that we are working on. So in short, Chair, what I can say is that we have challenges on revenue. That is why we are not reaching the 5%. However, Chair, just have we said, we have put up strategies, Chair. We are hoping 2026, Chair, we shall start remitting, because we have advanced on the updating of the evaluation law. We have also come up with we have engaged Zambia on certain revenue that they used to pay. That has been done, and agreements have been signed and agreed, Chair. So going forward, Chair, we shall start working on the 5%. Thank you.
So are you confirming that your evaluation row is now updated and the new companies are going to be... Because this audit report is for 2024. So between that period and now, confirming that you've some of the revenue that are reliable?
Chair, I'm confirming that the process has started. All the engagement with Minister of Local Government, the approvals, they have been done, Chair.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, CS, are you also admitting that then your statement was misleading for you to say identify development activities that have said prioritize?
I'm admitting, Chair, we're supposed to say we go by the projects in the IDP.
Okay. Honorable members, we should be progressing. Do we have... Yes, Vice Chair.
Can I start?
No, on page 8 of your submission, CS, Appendix 21, delayed confirmation of officers on probation. I've seen that, I've looked at your response, but I just want to find out why you didn't follow the prescribed guidelines for the confirmation of workers on probation, because according to the conditions of service commission should be able to communicate to the commission whether you are confirming the worker or not. But why didn't you do it within the time frame that is required by law? I submit, Chair.
Chair.
Honorable Kangombe, could ask another question?
CS on page 10 of your submission. I hope you are looking at page 10. There are two queries. The first one is on vehicles that were not insured, and I think you've given an explanation as to why these were not insured. So I want to find out, Chair, without going into 71, do you have a procedure which explains how you should manage your movable assets like vehicles? A procedure which says when the vehicle has worked for 5 years, it has depreciated in value and should now be disposed of. Is there something that guides you so that you know this vehicle has been with us for 7 years, there's no need to insure it? Because some of these things should not be queries. The query is that you're not insuring your vehicles. And your answer is that why should we insure a vehicle which is not moving? Management policy or procedure, Chair, which really guides you how you manage your assets, which ones to insure, which ones not to insure. And the same applies to Appendix 32 on the same page, where the auditors are saying they found the civic center and some staff houses leaking. So is there again a procedure which explains how you should manage your properties? A property maintenance policy or something, because this should be in place. And I'm asking this question, Chair, because councils normally have new workers coming in. You, the old generation, you understand some of these things, but now, do you have these policies written so that when an officer joins you from the commission, you give them these tools, this information, so that they support your work? I'm trying to understand for purposes of our committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. You answer that, yes.
Chair, we have a policy that talks to the same. We have the policy, Chair, in place. Thank you.
What policy is that? And have you, what policy is that, yes?
The depreciation policy. Yes. Maybe you can
yes, DF.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Chair. Yes, Chair, indeed we have a policy in place, a depreciation policy.
What is it called?
We have a depreciation policy which looks at the value of the movable assets and non-movable assets as we continue using them for some time. In the case of a tractor, Chair, it's the value, Chair, which actually it had a new value, but we couldn't dispose it off because it was the only tractor that we were using for providing service garbage collection. So we had I marked it to have it disposed of once we have an alternative in place, Chair. I submit, Chair.
Okay. Yes, Honorable.
It's a different question altogether. On page 16 of their submission, Appendix 48, unspent sector grant account. They have acknowledged to not have spent that money at the time of the audit, and they are saying they have now spent that amount. They have not given any reason why they didn't spend that money in the first place. So my question is, why was that amount not spent? There's no reason given.
Okay. What challenges were you facing not to spend these 8 points on all these budget lines? Cash for work, district health, even district health. What was the challenge with spending? We have the doctor here. At the point of the audit, 380 was not spent. What could have been the reason?
Chair, I will direct the question to Director of Finance, but before I do that, Chair, maybe on sector grant under Zambia Devolution Support Program, there are some funds that are still sitting in the account, which is also part of the 8.6 million. So just like I explained, Chair, we have a project that is running, the bus station, the construction of the bus station in Mpongwe, and the money that has remained, Chair, the 2 million, is committed to the same project. But for these other votes, Chair, allow me to direct it to...
Maybe on the same, before you come, on the same project, I was looking at your evidence here. When is that project going to finish? The delayed one. Because I didn't see the start date and the end date.
Director Engineering, maybe you can come in.
Okay, let us just conclude. Director Engineering, you are saying the bus station is a delayed project. It is what made your expenditure look bad. Now, the 2 million is dedicated to a contractor who is now on site. So my question is, now that the project has resumed, when I was looking at your evidence here, I could not see when the project is ending. And since it's a delayed project, what have you done to accelerate its completion? Because the people of Mpongwe, they need the market.
Thank you, Chair. So this project is a phased project, which is a construction of a bus station. So it had delayed due to some procurement processes and approval processes, ranging from ZEMA and some retendering. So the project started in December procurement can guide me the exact date. That's 2025. And then, since the project is so on phase 1, where we're doing the earthworks and the compacting and doing some paving, and looking at the time it started, this is the rain season period. We have done part of the works, but currently it's on hold because of we can't do earthworks during the rain season. The project, according to the contract, is scheduled to be completed in April, but we are also looking at revising the completion period because of the time it started. We had started it because it had delayed, so we wanted to get it going, Chair.
So have you already engaged the relevant authorities to extend its complete? Because that would be another audit issue.
Yeah.
So have you already written CS wanting to extend that project? Because already you know that it will not be complete within its project cycle. So has that been done?
So, yes. So, Chair, the process we've started. Just 2 weeks ago, we sat with the ministry. We had a site meeting over the sale. So we have started the process. The first phase we are submitting through the ministry so that we do the extension on time. See, the project is ending in April and we're in February, Chair.
And the minutes of that initial meeting that you held, they can be availed to the auditors?
Yes, Chair. Yes, Chair.
Okay, so we move on to the substantive question that we were waiting to be answered.
Okay, one of the questions was on confirmation of staff. Yes.
The reason for these unspent funds, the district health account, these sector budget accounts.
Okay, maybe Director of Finance, you can come in.
Thank you very much, Chair. Chair, if you look at the unspent, the breakdown of the unspent funds, which is the 8,631,138. 90%, Chair, which is the 7,756,441.7. Chair, in the initial stage, Chair, the implementation of Catch for Work program, we had some teething problems, Chair, ranging from, I think, the slow pace in verification of the beneficiaries' details and the submission of wrong details by the beneficiaries. This, Chair, actually affected the utilization of funds into this sector grant account, Chair. I submit, Chair.
Thank you. Any follow-up question on the same? I think it's clear, honorable members. Do you have any other question? Anything that is pending? Nothing? Yes, honorable. Yes?
Thank you, Chair. I think I can check the CS to page 15 on the protective clothing. Because from what we have been told here, I just want to find out this protective clothing issues. Is it part of the conditions of service, or is it just a favor that you do to these people? Because if it's a condition of service, it's supposed to be budgeted for, if I'm not mistaken, yearly, so to speak. So just confirmation. If it's just a favor, because it will be found to be like the Chinese, who are not even giving, then us now as a local authority will be on the Chinese, but meanwhile we are not providing for our workers. Thank you.
Okay, quick response, yes.
Chair, it's not a favor. It's supposed to be provided for.
So what could be the reason why it is not prioritized?
Chair, the protective clothing in question was the life jackets, Chair, because of the Kaflafuta Dam where we are experiencing a lot of accidents, and also the Kafua River.
Okay.
Yeah, so the other protective clothing, Chair, we procured only the same that I've talked about, which we have already procured, which we procured. Unfortunately, we procured after the audit was done, Chair.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not a favor we're supposed to provide.
Okay. Maybe the last one, Council Secretary. I don't know, maybe I could have missed the response. Here on the issue of the age limit for cash for work. It has not been answered, right? So, are you claiming that there are people who were not qualifying, who were paid these cash for work monies? Because I thought one of the criteria was someone should present an NRC. So if they did not present an NRC like he did ask, how did you admit them? And those, were they paid?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, when Cash for Work started, Chair, we're given guidance by the ministry where they gave us the template. I think it's on Appendix 13B. It was submitted to the clerk for distribution. So when we look at the template, Chair, they indicated the ranges. The ranges where those people should fall. Yes. Yeah. So what we're doing is when we check on the NRC, we look at the range on the whether it's falling under 18 to 25 or 45 to and then we tick. That's what we used to do. Unfortunately, we never used to photocopy a copy of the range to attach to the templates, to the payment vouchers. So that's how they queried it. So maybe the example of what I'm talking about is, can I circulate it?
Yes. I think we have the copy, yes.
They have the copy, yes. So this is what we're doing, Chair. When we check on the NRC, then we see that that person is ranging between 18 to 35, we take. Yes, Chair. So
so they were not leaving copies of the NRCs?
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Yes, a follow-up question. Is it clear, Honorable? Yes, Honorable.
Yeah.
Is it clear? Yes, Honorable Kangombe.
So, Chair, cash for work, you identify an area where people should work, they are engaged, and then they provide their identity. Because the issue here, I think, is the issue of the identity. So I want to understand the query. Is the query that they did not provide a copy of their NRC, or is the query that the NRC was inaccurate? Because there's a procedure for identifying any beneficiary. Is it a requirement that you should bring a hard copy of your NRC when getting paid, or the actual NRC? I'm trying to understand the query here, Chair.
Yes, can you kindly clarify?
The query, Chair, was not attaching the copies of NRCs. So management did acknowledge the audit observation and wished to state that the copies of the national registration cards were not attached to payment vouchers.
Okay.
Yes, we're actually checking the NRC, but we're going by the guidelines.
So did you ask them to resubmit the NRC or the beneficiaries?
Director of Finance.
And was that a requirement from the guidelines? Was it an initial requirement?
No, it was not a requirement, Chair.
Yeah, but CS also just is common sense that when you are making a financial payment of that nature, as a proof, even if it's not a requirement, I think it's common knowledge that you just need to demonstrate evidence. And I think that is what quantifies it to be an audit. Because honestly, in a public space, you cannot just tick the age without demonstrating any evidence. And what have you done now to rectify this? Because this will be an audit, because the proof has to be there. So have you recorded all the beneficiaries that they should submit the NRCs, and what evidence is there that is being corrected now?
Chair, we've started engaging the beneficiaries to submit the copies. If they will not come through, Chair, we'll go around to make sure that they submit.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Mpongwe, we've come to the end. We thank you most sincerely for your inputs and your submissions to this committee. Just to mention that as you get back, please you identify some of these financial challenges that have been highlighted by the audit as you keep on improving. The weak land administration and planning controls that have been highlighted here, you need to pay attention to them. Very important. And also the significant unspent funds, either from the main port or from the devolved accounts. I think it's not sitting very well. And also the failure to achieve service delivery targets. When you set your targets, can they be achievable? And let them be very defined, so that when you are making variations, they should be speaking to your target, so that they do not dent your burning rate. And also the weak revenue collection performance, that has also been stressed, and also the non-compliance with supporting the ward development committees through their funds, that you can also take note of. And also the human resource management issues, the weak asset management controls, and also the failure to service plots before allocation, without forgetting the statutory obligations and the inadequate fire and safety services. So I thought I'd just highlight some of the issues that I feel you might need to pay attention to as we keep on improving your books. Having said that, yes, on behalf of the members of parliament here, we want to thank you most sincerely for your appearance. And should the Office of the Auditor General want to verify certain information, I'm sure they will be able to verify some of the issues that you spoke here that could have not been provided with evidence. Otherwise, thank you so much. I take away the immunity which was conferred to you and your team. We wish you a blessed evening. You travel well back to Mpongwe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chair.
It is a lovely Monday afternoon, and you're watching Parliament Television, and you're just from watching the Committee on Local Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs, which was receiving submissions from Mpongwe Town Council, and this committee was being led by the Council Secretary, and their submissions were on the consideration of the report of the Auditor General on the Auditor of Accounts of Local Authorities for the financial year ended 31st December 2024. Also to make mention that this was the last witness for the Committee on Local Governance, Housing and Chiefs Affairs for today. This committee earlier on did receive submissions from Mandola City Council and Mufulira Municipal Council. On live commentary, my name is Matimba Mkua. On sign language, I was joined by Chola Kauma. Keep watching Parliament Television.